What's going on, everybody? Welcome here to another video. And in this video, I'm going to dive deep into the rumor that's been circling the surface of the media today with the New York Giants and draft prospect Kayvon Thibodeaux. Now, before I get any more into that, I want to quickly remind you all you can check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate all the support we've gotten on our YouTube channel over the past week or so. It's been awesome. If you like these videos that you watch, make sure to hit the like button and that subscribe button below to follow us throughout the course of the entire off season. We'll be posting out constant videos so that you guys have the information firsthand to be really intelligent minds when it comes to the NFL draft. I mean, that's the focus now, right? 2022 off season officially underway. Super Bowl is over. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Again, thank you all very much for watching. So, could defensive end Kayvon Thibodeaux slip to number 5 in the NFL draft? It's very possible. Before I state my opinion on it, I'll bring up the report that was brought out. According to Colin Cowherd, who you all know is a big TV personality on ESPN, this and that, he has his own show, says he had a conversation with Kayvon Thibodeaux, who told him that he believes he is going to the Giants. Giants currently hold the number 5 overall pick. Now, take those words with a grain of salt. Take that for what you will. In other words, things happen in the draft all the time. Teams trade back, teams move up. We saw what happened last year. The Giants had their eyes locked in on Devontae Smith. Then the Philadelphia Eagles traded with the Cowboys to jump the Giants one spot to grab their future number 1 star receiver and take him away from the Giants. So it's interesting because Thibodeaux played 3 seasons at Oregon. He was regarded as the number 1 overall draft prospect heading into last college football season. 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Big build, 6'5", 258. 3 years played at Oregon. 49 tackles, 7 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles this past season. He also had 9 sacks in his freshman year. And the scouting behind him so far from all the film that I've watched on Thibodeaux is that he has a lot of power, really good instincts for a player his size. He is a very good plus run defender with above average speed. He plays very hard and physical, and that's something you'd love to have as the New York Giants, where the positives of him as a prospect outweigh the negatives, which is why he's highly regarded as a top 5 pick. And I don't know how true these rumors are that he's going to slip to number 5. I think it is very possible, but let's break down who's in front of us. Now, we all know last year the Jaguars selected Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. Jacksonville will be picking number 1 yet again this year. And if they were smart, they would take Evan Neal out of Alabama. And now I know a lot of Giants fans want Evan Neal, as do I. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to slip that far. I think Jacksonville winds up scooping Evan Neal, cornerstone left tackle, to protect Trevor Lawrence. You have to make that pick if you're Jacksonville. Any other pick would be silly, in my opinion. And then the Lions probably take Aiden Hutchinson. And it's crazy. I just mentioned Thibodeaux was the number 1 prospect coming out of college this year, heading into this past season. And Hutchinson leaped him. He had a great season at Michigan, made the college football playoff, and he outperformed Thibodeaux down the stretch. Now, that's no knock to Kayvon Thibodeaux, but Hutchinson is more of a pure pass rusher that can get to the quarterback, is where Thibodeaux can get to the quarterback, but he probably tops out at like 10 to 11 sacks a season at the NFL level. He's more of a, guy. If you're the Giants, you run in on the 3-down line. You wouldn't run him at the 5-tech, really, although you could develop him into a 5-tech player if you want, because he is 6'5", 258. You just maybe have to lose 5 to 10 pounds or so. But I think right now it's Neal followed by Hutchinson, and then you get to the Texans, and it's interesting. They could go several different directions. They could go Ike Mekwonu, the tackle out of NC State that everybody loves, including a lot of Giants fans. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. Lord knows they need secondary help. Or they could trade back to select a quarterback like a Kenny Pickett or a Matt Corral. But I don't think that Texans team is ready to go out and support rookie quarterback, as crazy as that sounds. Picking 3rd overall, there's no draft prospect worth a 3rd overall pick in this draft. So there's a chance they could go with a secondary player like a Hamilton or a Stingley. I think Hamilton possesses all the traits the Texans are looking for, but Okwonu would be a nice piece on that offensive line. And then the Jets, they don't need defensive line. I mean, they have Quinnen Williams. They have John Franklin Myers. They have guys there. They're not going to draft defensive line. They're probably going Stingley or O-line. So then that leaves number 5 overall. That's my reasoning how Thibodeaux could slip to the Giants if there are no trade backs in that scenario. Now, let's look at the Giants' current roster and what they have at the defensive line / edge position. Now, we all know Lorenzo Carter's a free agent. He's likely not coming back. A lot of people want him back on a one-year deal, but for me, with the new regime coming in, I think that's unlikely. I could be wrong, but I don't know if they're going to want to spend money on him due to the fact of his injury history and the fact that he only came out to ball the last 5 games of the season. Another guy, O'Shane Zimin, is not very fond on him. Thibodeaux could fill that build as the 5 tech opposite Azeez Ojulari. I think that would be an outstanding combination. Now, the Giants don't have a rich history of drafting players from the West Coast out of Oregon, but, it could very well be a nice selection for the Giants if it's there. And let's say he's not a 5 tech. You want to run him at the 4-eye or on the 3-down line. He's definitely not a 0 tech player. That's out of the option. He'll either play behind Leonard or Dexter, which they're not going to do that. He's clearly going to fill in at the 5 tech because that's where he belongs. But if you look at what the Giants have, you have Dexter Lawrence entering a contract year, Leonard Williams entering the second year of his mega 3-year deal, and then Austin Johnson and Danny Shelton are both free agents. And I bring this up because I mentioned the Giants struggled against the run last year. They gave up 4.5 yards per carry. They lost their defensive tackle, Dalvin Tomlinson, to the Minnesota Vikings, and they traded away B.J. Hill for a backup center in Billy Price. B.J. Hill wound up playing in this past week's Super Bowl. So the Giants really struggled stopping the run this year, and I think Thibodeaux would be the perfect selection to help fix that problem. Joe Schoen has a lot of decisions to make. He has the first 4 rounds of this draft very well scattered already. He did it while he was in Buffalo, and he's bringing that momentum here. So it'll be very interesting to see if the Giants do target Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think there's a legitimate shot that he falls into the lap of the Giants at number 5, but I'm not going to place any guarantees on that. I'm not going to make any predictions at this time. We have not even hit free agency yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Other news, the Giants sign wide receiver Austin Proehl to a futures contract, and that name, if you recognize it, it's because he is the son of former Panthers / Rams wide receiver Ricky Proehl. Remember Proehl in that playoff game against the Giants back in 2005. Not great memories, but Proehl, 26 years old, former 7th-round pick by the Bills out of the University of North Carolina. He was waived coming out of the preseason, his rookie season in 2018, had brief stints with 4 other teams, including the Titans, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Chargers. He went back to the Bills for a second stint last season in 2021, and then he was released from the practice squad on January 4th. In 38 games in his college career, he had 91 catches for 1,265 yards and 5 TDs. So, Austin Proehl, along with Antonio Williams and Davis Weber, now 3 former Bills players that have been signed to future contracts for the Giants. So, bringing a little slice of Buffalo down to the Meadowlands seems to be the trend this offseason, whether it's personnel playing or whether it is coaching staff. I don't expect much out of Austin Proehl, but you never know. You never know. It's going to be interesting, folks. If you have any questions about Kayvon Thibodeaux and this rumor that he thinks he's going to be taken by the Giants or this edition of Austin Proehl, feel free to comment with your questions and thoughts on my analysis below in the comments section. Really do appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to watch this video. We'll have much more upcoming as we get closer to free agency and then eventually the draft. If you like what you watch, make sure to subscribe to the channel below on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a little thumbs up, and I really appreciate you. Without further ado, let's go Big Blue.